All right, let's jump right in. We usually think of AI as a simple answer machine, right? You ask, it answers. Done. But what if that's not the whole story? What if we're kind of missing the point? We're got to explore a pretty big shift in thinking, moving away from using AI to find answers and starting to use it to find our own thought.
This quote from a student named Ori just hits you, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of the issue. Thanks to AI, he could ace a physics test about carousels, but he couldn't actually describe the feeling of being on one. He had all the facts, but zero real understanding. And that highlights this huge gap between just knowing something and truly learning.
And this brings us to what you could call the illusion of learning. It's that first mind-blowing experience with AI that feels so powerful, so magical, that it can trick us into thinking we're learning way more than we actually are. Uri described his first encounter with AI as pure magic, and you can totally see why. Ask it to explain, Newton's first law, and boom, a perfect answer in a split second. It's an incredible tool for homework for sure. But as Uri found out, that magic can also be a shortcut that lets you bypass the messy, personal, and frankly, most important parts of learning.
But then something really interesting happened. The whole dynamic between him and the machine started to change. It went from a simple command and response thing to, something that looked a lot more like a partnership. So one night, Uri basically told the AI to write a paper for him, and this is what the AI said back. Instead of just doing what it was told, it invited him to collaborate. Think about that. That one question changes everything. It's not a user bossing around a tool anymore. It's two partners about to create something together.
And this, right here, perfectly sums up the new role for AI in our lives. The AI's new promise is to be a thinking partner. It'll nudge you, it'll ask you questions, it'll challenge you, but it refuses to do the thinking for you. The whole point is to make your thinking better, not to just outsource it.
Now here's where it gets really fascinating. This super modern, cutting-edge interaction with an AI, it actually looks almost identical to a powerful learning method that's been around for centuries.
The idea is called chavrusa. It's an ancient learning style from Talmudic study, and it turns out to be a surprisingly perfect model for this new kind of partnership we can build with artificial intelligence.
So what is it exactly? Well, in a chavrusa, you have two learners who sit down together with a text, and the goal isn't to win an argument or prove the other person wrong. The goal is to build a deeper understanding together. The knowledge isn't just in the text or in one person's head. It's created in the space between them through all the back and forth, the questions, and the debate.
And get this, research actually shows that the skills you develop doing this kind of learning, things like being super precise with your words, being able to question your own assumptions, and really, truly listening, those skills are incredibly transferable. Students who get good at this can apply that same thinking to science, to math, and even to coding.
Okay, so let's make this feel a little less abstract. What does it actually look like to use an AI as a chavrusa partner in the real world?
Okay, check this out. Someone asks an AI to help them plan a walking tour for students. Now, a basic AI would just spit out a list of historical facts. But look at how this AI responds. It immediately pushes back with a question about intent. It forces the human to stop and think about the purpose, the why behind the tour, before they ever get to the what.
From there, the AI laid out two totally different creative directions. You could tell the story of the place by drawing a memory map, or you could tell the story of the people and listen to the voices that lived in it. All of a sudden, a simple walking tour has the potential to become this really deep, meaningful experience.
And here's the payoff. Through this collaborative process, this dialogue, the AI helped craft this beautiful little riddle for the tour. It took the human's core idea and helped translate it into this compelling, poetic language that really sparks your curiosity. That's the magic of partnership.
So, let's break this down even further. We can actually map out this whole partnership into a kind of blueprint for how to work together.
Now, this isn't just splitting up tasks. It's more like a delicate dance, and this table shows us the steps. Look at the roles here. The human brings the intent, the meaning, the emotion, the why. The AI is brilliant at taking that raw material and sharpening the language or framing it perfectly. The human has a spark of an idea. The AI can instantly provide all the cultural or historical context to expand on it. You, the human, are the guardian of the spirit and the values of the project. The AI can suggest a structure to make it happen. And when it's time to edit, the human has the final say, of course, but the AI is the perfect partner to check for things like flow, accuracy, and clarity. It's a truly symbiotic relationship where each one is doing what they do best.
So, after all this, what's the big takeaway? How can we start doing this right now?
It really all comes down to a few simple rules for meaningful learning with AI.
Okay, rule number 1. Let the AI illuminate, not replace you. It's a flashlight, not a guide. It shows you what's possible, but you have to walk the path. 2. Ask questions that make you think. So instead of asking, "What's the answer?" try asking, "What's a different way to look at this?" Or, "What am I not seeing here?" And finally, number 3, leave room for mistakes. Real learning is messy. It happens when we try things, get them wrong, and figure out why. It doesn't come from getting a perfect answer on the first try.
And really, that's the whole point. Learning with an AI partner like this, it isn't about becoming less human or replacing your brain with a machine. It's about turning that machine into a kind of mirror. A mirror that reflects your own thinking back at you, that pushes you to be clearer, and that ultimately returns you to yourself, just, a little smarter, a little more curious, and a little more engaged with the world than you were before.